Well, the U.S. Census Agency themselves admitted to not possessing the majority of their official historical records of information that was allegedly documented between the 1790 U.S. Census and all the way up to the 1830 U.S. Census. And their excuse was to claim that these records were lost or destroyed somehow.
Big Fire.
This was purposely
lost in
done
Big Fire.
for two reasons. A, to hide the truth about the real history surrounding the U.S. and slavery. I mean, generally speaking, you can literally prove to yourself that your ancestors were slaves or not by documentation. You can check and see if your ancestors came off a boat. I've been sharing this information publicly for years now, along with my sources, and I still have not heard from anyone that used my instructions to trace their family that I have available on Amazon Prime so that one of their ancestors were documented as being a former slave. The people that reached out to me that has or is currently undergoing research on their family's history have not failed with discovering that their family members were either never enslaved and has always been free, or worked as an indentured servant for money, land ownership, business ownership, etc., and considered to be freedmen once their obligations of servitude expired. Make no mistake, when you hear the term freedman from now on, freedman does not necessarily mean that he or she was freed from enslavement, because it can also mean relieved from their duties in most commonly known cases.
This is the reason why.
To allegedly.
This is the reason why you saw freedmen, white folks as freedmen as well. And this is the reason. This is another reason why I said that it was I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody tried to bring this up and say we need to have a case for freedmen, but you're going to be including everyone that was considered freedmen, because by way of documentation of release from their duty, they were considered freedmen. I'm glad that I mentioned that. I actually went over this during the live stream as well and pointed out where that term came from. And that was a Christian term. It was a Christianized term. They were just trying to state that it was a group of people who accepted Christianity at that time, and they were freedmen. So it was used. But yeah, if your obligations of servitude expired, that's why you would then let go. You were able to be hired again. Now, some cases they said 7 to 10 years with certain people. But certain people, depending on what area, you would need to check with your family members. Certain people were manumitted earlier than that, earlier than what their contract said. Now, that's another thing. If that happened, they had to have an indenture. An indenture is a contract. That's how you can verify if your family members were working. Or they would tell you, and you're going to have to look for that indenture. But all of that was on public record. Everybody had to keep record. Because eventually, this is the reason why you saw the Civil War take place. They had to start writing that stuff down. And taxes had to be paid, just like how it is right now. This is the reason why I said that my wife and I told you that it was a labor dispute. The South did not want to have to pay taxes, basically. That's what that was about. That was going to make everybody in the South have to pay taxes, which is going to be overloading how much they were already getting paid. They were getting paid little to nothing out there. They were still trying to come up while the Union was already up. Everything was already booming and prospering. But the thing is that the South had the upper hand because they were growing the majority of the crops. So they felt as though, it should go our way. This is the reason why they split from the Union states. That's what they were called originally, the Union states. But yeah, it was a labor dispute at that time. The majority of the people who were laboring were them, not really us. It was them. The majority of our people already owned land. We already owned the majority of the land at that time. And this is another reason why I said to go back and start digging. Certain people of your family members may have just sold their land, or they gave it up taxes since the Union implemented taxes. Raised that prices up just enough where they couldn't afford it any longer. But this is the reason why I said it's so important for you to pull up your own family members' records, because you'll never know. Because if it was just land that your family owned that was sitting dormant, yeah, eventually the federal government or that local government picked it back up. But that is still owed to you. That will be owed to the descendants. Hopefully they had it in the trust. But our people were intelligent back then, utilizing trust and stuff like that. Like you need to definitely check and see if it was inside of a trust. There's multiple people that are getting their family's land back. We just got to do it. Meaning we got to put in the footwork to find out exactly what happened.
Enslavement, because it can also mean relieved from their duties in most commonly known cases. So this first reason to allegedly lose or destroy these records was to hide the truth that it was a very small amount of copper-colored slaves and a greater amount of prisoners of war in North America.
That's why. Okay, all right.
So destroy these records was to hide the truth that it was a very small amount of copper-colored slaves and a greater amount of prisoners of war in North America. And the second reason is B, to hide the truth about who are the real minority and majority in terms of the population count here in the United States of America.
And I went over that more times.
This brings me to my very next point. The biggest portion of their agenda was the abominable sabotaging of the indigenous Neeji's history, legacy, languages, culture, and heritage systematically. So of course they couldn't pull this task off on their own. So they implemented a methodology format based solely on the scientific concepts of eugenics.
Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Let me let y'all see this picture. Oh, man. Yeah, there we go. Let me let y'all see this picture. Hold on, where's my zoom in button? Is it this? But this is their steps. This is pulled right out of the book. The idiot is at the bottom. You would think the genius would be at the top, but the moron is at the top. Ooh, y'all. Listen. I'm going to just let this sink in for a minute. Steps in mental development. Look at that part. Steps in mental development. This is not a game. They were conducting these surveys on all people. And it was this ain't got nothing to do with the particular race. They were doing it. They started classifying people. Notice I said classify after they did studies. This is deep.
On the scientific concepts of eugenics. According to the National Archives, the term eugenics was coined by a British natural scientist and explorer named Francis Galton in the year of 1883. Now, there are two sides to every coin, so I'll be sure to flip each side over, and I'm not theoretically speaking here. Eugenics was implemented to help improve one selected group of people and their future generations to come, to overtake and oversee yet another set group of people and their future generations by way of extermination of their mindsets. This rabbit hole goes much deeper than one may assume. Allow me to simplify the explanation of this paramount method utilized by the likes of your industrialized institution throughout America, still to this very day. Eugenics literally changes everything that any person
notices with a K
was ever taught of or even thought of previously before this selection was carried out upon him or her.
Negro. African, right? They're telling you there's a difference. Right there. African and Negro. Look at that. The African was above and the Negro right there. We're not the same.
According to Francis Galton himself, this system would allow, quote, more suitable races or strains of blood a better chance of prevailing speedily over the less suitable, end quote. Galton was heavily influenced by the likes of an English naturalist, biologist, and the first ever self-proclaimed documented bigoted genealogist, Charles Darwin. Darwin single-handedly developed the theory of human evolution, which was his belief that man came from monkeys, and then his system of natural selection, which included a heavy flux of racial derogatory.
Since 1859, that's when Charles Darwin introduced Origin of Species by natural selection and the favored human races. Did you know that today they only report half the title that Charles Darwin wrote?
Oh, the book. Listen, y'all.
His title had to do with favored human races, assigning supremacy to the Aryan race, all others being inferior.
They had an agenda.
How many knew that? Only a handful. His book was racist. And that was the basic purpose for writing it.
So I'm gonna let him repeat the name of the book again, so you guys could look up Charles Darwin's book real quick.
The title that Charles Darwin wrote. His title had to do with favored human races, assigning supremacy to the Aryan race, all others being inferior. How many knew that? Only a handful. His book was racist, and that was the basic purpose for writing it.
And people would still believe, people would still believe that what he did was all science. And I'm like, yeah, it was science. But it was pseudoscience. It was only made to fit his narrative. And people be bigging them up, all the way down to the presidents. I showed y'all that. Knowing that he was racially biased.
I would hit that.
Night. Yeah, science fiction. That's right.
1800s, the social engineering aspect of Darwin's theory became popular worldwide during the early 1900s.
Hell yeah.
Social engineering.
Just in case y'all thought I was lying that they weren't together, Galton, Darwin, it's in their family. They're blood related.
The aspect of Darwin's theory became popular worldwide amongst many scientists alike.
That's their family right there.
And it even caught the eye of the elitists. More about this in the second installment concerning this topic. But I mention all of this to inform you that they played a prominent role.
Don't that look like doesn't that look like DNA strands? They're trying to connect you with certain people. But this is the beginning of it. And I was telling you guys that at this time when you saw the Francis Galton and Charles Darwin's theory being rolled out or carried out, okay, keep in mind, this was the beginning steps of that so-called genealogy DNA process where they're trying to connect the dots to who you could be blood related to by way of eugenics, trying to socially engineer a way to think that you're related to a certain group of people. But they never tell you your blood relation. The reason why is because they weren't testing blood. They were going off of the structure of your skull. And I showed you the pictures of that. What you look like, how you act when you're studying, like when you're going through a literacy test. They're testing you in so many different ways, trying to see how you read, trying to see how you write, in order to categorize you in a particular class. Now, this is exactly what they are doing right now when it comes to genealogy DNA, when they say that they already going off of existing biobanks. Notice at the bottom of this picture, it says biological examination of these family stocks. Biological examination. But this is all inside of a book on eugenics. You guys can look this up by their own. They did this. This is their family, though. This is how they were doing it for themselves, and they thinking that was going to work for everybody else. And it was pseudo. Straight up. It wasn't going to work for everybody else just because it worked for you. Notice how they got the pictures of everybody in their family. Allegedly.
Oh, in elevating
You don't know
the
everybody
advancement
else.
of eugenics, specifically for the sake of their own race, disguised
And
as
get
if
this.
was
Get this. I'm showing it to you. Eugenics. Get this. Policing and everything. Policing everything. I don't think it was March 29th, 1906. I believe that might have been a library stamping it of when they scanned it in. So I ignore this date, the March 28th, 1906. I don't think, even though it say born. Oh, you know what? They referring to this person. Born 29 March 1906. But I don't know when this was published. But definitely did this.
At a cost of
recall
whatever
it.
they desired. They were religiously following this formula.
Lady Science,
or
Volume 3,
dubbing
number
it as
33. Get that. Get that.
survival of the fittest. In other words, Charles Darwin's theory of human evolution was merely a way to elevate and escalate the implementation of white supremacy and to eradicate those who were of non-pale complexions, deeming it as survival of the fittest, where those who did not meet their racist criteria, motives, and agendas would suffer from a variety of forms of propaganda that was hypothesized to eliminate the opposing race of people. Eugenics is literally a modernized pseudoscience that was based merely on racial discrimination.
Look, Governor's Trophy, fittest family. Are they winning an award for being the fittest family? Look at where they're located. Watch this.
And environmental injustice, socially,
Look at the
physically,
top of look
and
at the
mentally,
building.
but became prosperous still due to its popularity of praises.
They're at the eugenics building. The Governor's Trophy, fittest family. Look, y'all. It was survival of the fittest. This is what's going on right now. Remember, okay, and I saw somebody in the comments, in the chat mentioning this before about what they did with the Nazis and everything like that. Very similar, but they were actually trying to force themselves at the top by way of their little science. Okay? Put them at the top. Make them above everybody else so they can feel good about themselves to continue on with specified wrongdoings. Okay? Specified wrongdoings. They use science to their advantage. They made this up at the eugenics building. The Governor's Trophy, the fittest family. This is not a game, people. And this is the origins of classism. That's what's going on right now. Pseudoscience. It wasn't real. They made that shit. They made it up.
From those who gravitated towards inequality and racial estrangement. On the date of September 25th, 2008, in a statement made before the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs by Representative James P. Moore on the grounds of the Thomasina E. Jordan Indian Tribes of Virginia Federal Recognition Act.
Watch this.
Moore stated, quote, "This is a travesty that this committee can correct. The second unique circumstance for the Virginia tribes is what they experienced at the hands of the state government during the first half of the 20th century. It has been called a paper genocide. At a time when the federal government granted Native Americans the right to vote, Virginia's elected officials adopted racially hostile laws targeted at those classes of people who did not fit into the dominant white society."
Now keep in mind, he's using the term Native American due to the fact that it's an updated statement. Like he gave this statement, what I say, 2008? So he's going to use the term Native American. But if you listen to what he's saying, he's talking about us. Let me make sure that was 2008. Yeah, that was 2008. So September 25th, 2008.
Oh my gosh.
Before the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs. One more time.
Circumstance for the Virginia tribes is what they experienced at the hands of the state government during the first half of the 20th century. It has been called a paper genocide. At a time when the federal government granted Native Americans the right to vote, Virginia's elected officials adopted racially hostile laws targeted at those classes of people who did not fit into the dominant white society. The fact that some of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, in their view, meant that no one else in Virginia can make a claim they were Native American and a descendant of Pocahontas' people.
Hold up, listen. I'm gonna repeat what he said. The fact that some Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, in their view, meant that no one else in Virginia can make a claim that they were Native American and a descendant of Pocahontas' people. They telling on themselves. What are they doing? It's taking an identity. That's stolen identity right there.
Oh, fuck me.
That's grand theft identity. Grand identity theft. And right after that, listen to what he's saying right after that.
So would mean that Virginia's ruling elite were what they decreed all non-whites to be. Part of the inferior Negroid race.
Woo! Hey, y'all. Are y'all listening? To do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite were what they decreed all non-whites to be. Part of the inferior Negroid race. Come on, y'all. Notice he used the term Native American. Alright? Remember, I tell you American Indian by way of the paperwork because the term Native American came later, 1970s. I also tell you that we should refer to each other as Niji, being my buddy, my associate. Remember, I told you not to use the word friend, even though I know we're going to do it, and sometimes you may even hear me say it. But a friend is a person of the society of what? You just make sure that somebody got this real quick before I say it. Who is it, y'all? Remember, this going all back to their little religious beliefs. Society of Quakers. That's right. And we were not Quakers. At all. Come on, y'all. So you know who he talking to. And it's a person of the G being my buddy, my associate. Remember, I told you not to use the word friend, even though I know we're going to do it, and sometimes you may even hear me say it. But a friend is a person of the society of what? You just make sure that somebody got this real quick before I say it. Who is it, y'all? Remember, this going all back to their little religious beliefs. Society of Quakers. That's right. And we were not Quakers. At all. Come on, y'all. So you know who he talking about. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
The fact that some of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, in their view, meant that no one else in Virginia can make a claim they were Native American and a descendant of Pocahontas' people. To do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite were what they decreed all non-whites to be. Part of the inferior Negroid race. With great hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed politics that culminated with the enactment of the Racial Integrity Act of 1924.
Listen, y'all.
This act directed state officials and zealots like Walter Plecker to destroy state and local courthouse records and reclassify in Orwellian fashion all non-whites as colored.
Woo! Y'all listening? In Orwellian fashion, all non-whites is colored, y'all. That's everybody. Because of Walter Plecker and the Racial Act of 1924. I already went over this. But this right here is public record. Also, the Racial Integrity Act was in 1924. It targeted Native Americans with a vengeance, denying Native Americans in Virginia their identity. But keep in mind, all of this happened in Virginia and streamlined everywhere else. He's just admitting it in court.
It targeted Native Americans with a vengeance, denying Native Americans in Virginia their identity. To call yourself a Native American in Virginia was to risk a jail sentence of up to 1 year.
What I tell you my grandfather told me, and a lot of other elders, what I tell y'all. They were being jailed or murdered for stating that they were Indian. Now right here, see, he's saying Native American, but that's not the terminology that was being used back then. It was Indian. American Indian. I think I mentioned that right here, too.
End quote. Now, in this statement, he used the term Native American.
Yeah.
But the truth is that our identities were changed. Not from Native American, but from Indian to color.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not only just killing people in Virginia for claiming their true identity, but they were also killing them by hanging them from a tree and in more. Ways the one that I won't mention. In each state across North America, the biggest bigoted, racist, white supremacist of them all was none other than Walter Ashby Plecker.
Here go this.
You can get even points?
I got 81 points already.
Sucker right here.
The Plecker era.
Yeah.
You got it. Come on, come on.
Who's got ball? Too slow. Box out! Where's the open man? Hey, come to me, come to me. Yo, I got your help. Hey, swing it. You got more. Hey, get it, get it. Who's leading here? Pitch, pitch. Hey, heads up. Yo, someone help me out. Hey, don't worry. Come to me! That's all day. Jump up. You too. Go. Get him. Watch it. Get it! Get outside! He's open! There's the boy! There's the boy! Close in! Close in! Get on, my man! Hey! Jimmy!
Two shots. Foul. Two.
Come get it! Come get it! That's you! You got him! Hey, come to me! Oh, come on, bust that! Shoot that!
Bring the force, man.
There you go! You got it, come on, come on! Come on, here!
Bring the force, man.
You got it, come on, come on!
Oh, you better shoot that.
That's on you! No, that's easy! Pressure him up! You can't play with me! You just can't stop.
Bring that force, man. Crash it. Watch out, jump, bubble. You too.
With the foul. That's okay, you got one more. through, baby. Cut through.
Welcome, sports fans. Thank you for joining us. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Brian Anderson with Hall of Famers Grant Hill and Doris Burke. Allie LaForce, our reporter. To the middle. And he makes in the layup. Obviously, this is the type of game the fans really get up for. So do we. And the players as well.
Yeah, we all can't wait. These are the types of games you mentally circle on the calendar. And it's a test for the teams to see how championship ready they might be.
Now the Cavaliers with it. Allen on the wing. Okoro on the wing. No good from outside. And now the Cavaliers on the break. Back to Garland. To the paint. Down low. Here's Allen. And it's Allen who slams it home.
Well, Okoro is a team-first guy that wants to involve his teammates. Pretty pass there.
Here's Allen. He can't hit that time. So Cleveland will take it the other way.
Boy, one big takeaway from the Cavaliers last season was the impact Evan Mobley has on the defensive end. This is a 7-footer who can guard multiple positions.
Back to Mobley. Missed it. Now 0 for 1 on this game.
Probably should have scored there. He usually does.
Pass to Allen. Cleveland needs to get off a shot. Offensive board. The second effort. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
At the line for Cleveland.
That free throw good from Allen. And with Mobley, he's already drawing comparisons to other versatile big men.
Well, B.A., I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this guy has a chance to become one of the elite defensive players in league history. It is clear he's at the top of his game. They are a scary team defensively.
And he probably thought he was going to bury that one.
Inside. Pass to Allen. Oh, from deep. The shot misses. From deep, Mitchell. And he buries his first look.
Now, this guy came into the league as a volume three-point shooter. Now Donovan Mitchell's percentages have greatly improved. He has put in a ton of work, and it's paying dividends.
Garland, no good. Three-pointer. And that one's good. Mitchell for 3. Mitchell's got 6 points.
Boy, Mitchell's confidence is off the charts right now. Off the dribble jumper? Yes, sir.
And the foul called on Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley.
That's his first foul.
His first team foul. Substitution on the court.
About 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. For 3, Allen. 5 on the clock.
2 minutes remaining.
Outside Garland.
2 minutes.
The 3 from Mitchell. Hits the trifecta.
Well, this is why you get the ball into Donovan Mitchell's hands as often as possible. 3-level scorer, ready on the catch. Beautiful.
Donovan Mitchell.
This is legit showmanship right here. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the tomahawk there.
That's more than just getting 2 points. That was sending a clear message. Okoro on the wing. Oh, drew the foul and almost hit the three-point bucket. But he'll head to the line for 3.
Second team foul.
Well, the physical gifts of Isaac Okoro are evident. Now it's about what are my best skills and what can help me become a real rotation player in the NBA.
And he nails the third. Of course, we hear a lot about how much space Isaac Okoro can cover at the defensive end.
It's important, B.A. Here we have an agile, athletic defender who's got length to bother those elite shooters, the quickness to cut off penetration. He can jump passing lanes. Being this kind of defensive player is critical in the league.
Hits a three-pointer. He has 6.
Evan Mobley might be a big man, but boy, how about the touch on that pass right there?
Back to Osman. Let's go with tray.
Both teams are starting to find a rhythm here.
And this is partly what the game has become, right? A matter of dueling three-point opportunities.
Now here's Garland. Boy, he's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Pass to Mitchell. Yes, and a nice assist from Garland.
Donovan Mitchell will answer with his own three. This guy has got a ton of pride and competitiveness.
The shot by LeVert, no good. The Cavs trailing. To the inside. Here's Mobley. He nails it, and we're tied. Mobley's got his second basket of the game.
Oh, neither of these teams can miss. At the same time, neither is playing a ton of defense either. Look out below!
You got no chance of defending him right there. Pass to Allen. He's off on the layup. Just a big-time effort for Donovan Mitchell, providing a lot of energy for Cleveland.
18, the Cavaliers, 20. Here they come, fans. It's your
And if you're just joining us, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And what stands out to you from the Cavaliers in this one?
Well, they've used the fast break well to score easy points and keep the defense unsettled.
And we know this. Every team in the league now seems to be looking to play with pace.
From behind the arc. It's another three for Cleveland.
And his fantastic performance from the last game has carried over to tonight.
No, I think that's the one thing every player is searching for. Consistency. They're giving this guy a chance to carry the offense once again.
And pushing it up. Here's Cleveland. Garland, no good. And so it's Cleveland with it. Trailing by 5. Here's Osman. Nails it from 3. Osman's gotten himself going with a triple. His first basket of the game.
What a beautiful stroke from range. Defensively, you've got to try to take him out of his comfort zone.
I mean, once he crosses the timeline, you need to pick him up. He can drop it in from way back.
And it's out of bounds. The Cavaliers able to retain possession here.
Substitution on the court.
Quarter number 2 with just over a minute of play. Pass to Wade. Uncovered. Outside for Green. Here's Osman. And here's LeVert for 3. That won't go for him. Now 0 for 2. Now here's Allen.
Blocking foul called on Jetty Osman. His first team foul.
Pass to Garland. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. Grant, we always talk about great footwork for post players, but how about perimeter players?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, B.A. Great perimeter players have elite footwork. The footwork helps to create the opportunity to score, whether that's shooting a three off the dribble or even in the post-up. Great, elite, fantastic, iconic guards who can do it all have superior footwork. Believe that.
Paris LeVert, that vertical is special. That is nicely done.
From outside the arc. Pass to Lopez. Good D by Mobley. The Cavaliers leading. Mitchell with room to shoot. And the basket's good. Off the assist from Garland.
Garland with the assist.
Mitchell's got 5 points now this quarter. And we're just over 2.5 minutes into the second. Here's Osman. And so he draws the foul, headed to the line to shoot a pair.
His first.
To me, Jetty Osman is a great reminder of how international the game is today. This guy is a Turkish citizen. We know he's had a ton of success playing for their national team.
And here in the NBA, Osman has had his share of success as well.
He has been. He's proven to be a real asset for this team. Something of a gap filler. Not maybe a lot with whatever minutes he gets. He'll contribute on the glass, he can score it, and he's certainly a quality passer.
And Grant, Donovan Mitchell wears the number 45. Not one we see a lot of in the NBA.
That's true, B.A. But Donovan's got a good reason to wear it. Paying homage to Michael Jordan. Mitchell said growing up, everyone always took 23, so he went to MJ's return number, 45.
Just 5 on the clock. Back to Green. And another miss by Cleveland. Oh, and a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
Well, Ricky Rubio has defined point guard vision. He can see the floor so beautifully.
And that's a foul called on Ricky Rubio. That's his first foul of the game. The Cavaliers making a switch here. LeVert with the ball. Now Rubio defending. A chance here to extend the lead to double digits.
And that would really give them a comfortable cushion.
Back to Allen. Pass to Osman. And Danny Green gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul of the game.
Team foul. Substitution on the court.
We've got 1:13 left in the first half. And that's a foul called on Donovan Mitchell. That's his first foul of the game.
14 foul.
All right, guys, some stats here. The scoring breakdown for Cleveland.
Well, they found a groove, and it's from distance, so knocking them down from the three-point land never hurts.
And boy, have they started out quick, running the floor, taking advantage of their speed.
Outside Garland.
Cleveland foul. Ricky Rubio. His second. Third team foul.
That free throw misses.
At the line for Cleveland, Darius Garland. At the lock.
And he sinks the second.
You know what you love about Darius Garland's potential? It's as a scorer in this league, right? Because he's so aggressive. He plays assertively. And that, to me, is the key for young players.
Rubio.
And here comes Cleveland. 12-point lead, their biggest of the game. Now here's Allen. To the wing, right side. And another miss by Cleveland. And here comes Cleveland. They're on a 16-6 run.
His first. 15 foul.
Free throw good. LeVert.
At the line for your
It's no
Cavaliers.
secret, guys, that Karis LeVert flat out score the basketball. I think the key for him moving forward, just become more and more efficient because the ability is there.
Out to Garland. Back to Allen. The three from Mitchell. Second chance shot. The rebound by Allen. And it's the Cavaliers with the ball. They've only given up 6 here in this quarter. Kept alive. And that concludes the first half.
With the score,
the Cavaliers on top,
your
leading by
Cavaliers.
14.